And welcome. Aphria imploding, on fire, going down. Meanwhile, markets down, VIX down. VIX continues to fall off. Let's talk about all of that and more coming up next on the Short Vol Show Live. All right, folks, and welcome back to the Short Vol Show Live. My name is Dave, and I was a little bit reticent the other day because I realized I had put up a video talking about how I was like massively long Aphria, and then I came in the next morning and end of the world, it was down like 20-something%. Now, that's a small dollar move, fortunately for me, but yeah, it was around trading around. It closed around 790, and I woke up and it was trading like 550 or something. Let's take a look at the price action from yesterday. But I was thinking to myself, oh, maybe I should just take my video down or something because I kind of look like a fool, like touting, saying I'm long this, and then it went down. But you know what? This is what happens in trading, and you make some bad trades, people lose money, people are wrong. And so, for me to like take down a video because I was wrong is ridiculous. And I was talking to one of my buddies, Dave Modell, and he was saying how some people had unsubscribed from his channel because something that he said turned out to be wrong. And look, folks, if you want to be in this business of trading, you're going to be wrong. You're going to lose money. If you want to make money every day, go work at McDonald's or something. We're in the business of taking risk here, and taking risk is not always going to work out. So, yeah, I was wrong on Aphria, and I came in yesterday and I checked out, well, what was the news, first of all, and let's take a look at what the news was. Not good. You have to think of the stock market as a popularity contest in a sense. I know everybody likes to get into all this stuff, like all these numbers, like the financial reports, PE ratios, and all that stuff. In the end, it's a popularity contest and a confidence game. And this news came out that basically was saying Aphria is a shell game, that the company is being used by its people that own a lot of shares in it to just make them money. So they're like going around making acquisitions. Basically, they're selling themselves companies for inflated prices. And the picture that is on the thumbnail is supposedly one of their acquisitions, and it's like an empty building. So this Seeking Alpha article came out by Hindenburg. Let's see what it's called. Hindenburg Investment Research, and just ripped the stock to pieces. Now, I've been, Aphria was my biggest winner last year, and even with this move, I'm still up money this year in it. And but you know what? After reading this stuff, even if it's not true, it might not be true. Don't fall in love with a stock, folks. It's not worth it, okay? There's a million stocks out there. Like I said, Aphria is my biggest money winner last year, and was going okay this year until now. But you know what? Bye-bye Aphria for me. I'm not hanging around. Don't get attached to a stock. There's a million stocks out there. Bye-bye Aphria. As soon as I read the news yesterday and saw this this detailed explanation of potential fraud, a 30-page article like detailing how like a bunch of their acquisitions are shady. Apparently this guy, let me see if I can find him here. There's a guy pictured here who had his hand in all these acquisitions and benefited a lot from them. And it's shady dealings, and guess what? It's going to destroy investor confidence. People are running for the exits on this one. There's plenty of other MJ stocks for people to get long if that's what they want to do. And Aphria burning. Now, I traded Sun Edison, and I rode it into the ground like an idiot. And I'm not taking a ride on this one any lower. So as soon as I saw the news yesterday, bye, see ya, out. I'm out. Sold all my shares, out. I kind of tried to play it well. I waited around and tried to sell stuff on a little bit of a bounce. I got some shares off around like the 650 area. I was short a small amount of the D's puts, D7 puts, and I paid, I believe, 185 for them. I sold them for 80 cents. And just once I read this news that just really bad article talking about fraud. Now it may not even be true, but guess what? There's a cloud over this company now, and I don't want to play it anymore. I'll find something else that doesn't have a cloud over it. So bye. I just bailed on everything Aphria. Here's the guy, okay? This is the guy who Andy DiFrancesco. He's got his hand in a whole bunch of Aphria stuff, and you know what? Move on, find something else. So I'm happy that I just bailed on this one, and bye Aphria. See ya. There's no reason to just fall in love with a company and just be like, well, since I've been trading that stock for a while, I'm just going to keep trading it, and that's it. I see people all the time on Seeking Alpha that are like, or not Seeking Alpha, on StockTwits, that they're comfortable with one stock. They're in that little chat room for that stock, and they just stick with it no matter what it does or no matter how much it doesn't do anything. There was one biotech forum that I was in, and it just stock didn't move for like 2 years. But there's some people, they only go on StockTwits to that one little biotech stock, and that's their stock, and they just stay with it forever. Don't be like that, folks. There's a million stocks out there. If something doesn't work for you, pivot out. I'm not going to sit here and ride Aphria down. Look, it opened down way more again today. It's like bye. Now, I will have a brief moment of mourning for Aphria and my journey there, which I'll outline very quickly here. I started trading it 2-3 years ago. Well, it was right around here when I started trading it. Hold on one second. Let me make sure I can see. All right. Let me move out of the way. Okay. It was right around here when I started trading it, around 2000, like early into 2017. No, see that spike right there in 2017? I bought it like right there, and it went against me down. Okay. But I was cool with that. I hung out, and it came back, and the rest was sort of history. It it skyrocketed in December, and that was great. And I was trying to play it up here where it was chopping around earlier this year, and then I just gave up. And then, I got long again the other day around 8, and it just tanked against me, and I'm out. Bye. Sorry. And yeah, here's me losing money. Guess what? People lose money sometimes. It's just the way it is. You take that trading ticket, you throw it over your shoulder, and you move on. I don't have a second thought about it. So see you later, Aphria. Bye. Thanks for nothing yesterday. Anyway, in volatility news, VIX now is finally up slightly, but a lot of the morning here, the E-minis were down like 10, 15 points, and the VIX was still down. And it's like, what's it going to take for this thing to jumpstart a little bit? I mean, obviously, well, to me, it seems like it was a big macroeconomic fundamental thing for a lot of people, this tariffs thing with China. And it seems like a lot of people took a lot of their the puts and protection they had on against their positions because of this China tariff stuff and everything. They have to have taken some of that stuff off because the VIX has just crashed. And we're back to 16 now. This time, last year, let's say 15 months ago, 16 and change would have been a very high level on the VIX, and we would have been like, oh, it's 16, it's definitely going lower. You know, a year and a half ago, 16 would have been unheard of, and we would have been chasing it back down towards 12, 11, 10. But in this environment right now, 16 almost seems cheap for the last couple months. So we'll keep an eye on that. My position right now is that I have this condor on, basically a wide condor. So I've got, it expires in 10 days, I believe. I just need UVXY to stay between 45 and 53. So anywhere above 45 or below 53, and I'm a winner. And the reason I kind of picked those points is we have had a pretty severe down move, so I feel like another 3 points down would be kind of pretty extreme in the next week. And a pop, we are a pop. I don't know. I just like it right there. I think that's a good range to stay in for the next week. So yeah, it's been kind of a wacky week. Is the rally back on? Is the bear market coming for us? There's been articles saying the bear market's coming for us, but then again, if history is our guide, we could rally from here, and that could be the end of the quote-unquote disruption, and we could hit, we could start bouncing off the all-time highs again. That could be it for that craziness to the downside. It doesn't feel like that is it, though. It doesn't feel like, oh, everything's, the gravy train's coming back in and we're going to approach the highs again. It feels like we're going to chop around for a while. However, I certainly would not be defending any vol level. And by that, I mean, I wouldn't be saying, oh, okay, vol's back down, it's time to buy it because it's going to spike right back up to 20 again. And my feeling about it is that's not so likely. My feeling on volatility is that it stays around here probably. That's my feeling right now. It stays around here probably. I don't think it's going to crash way lower. I don't think it's going to go way higher. The actual, if you think about it, the NASDAQ, the E-minis, the Dow have been moving around. There's been a lot of 1% or bigger moves lately, and the realized volatility is justified to have the VIX 16 or more. The actual movement around justifies that VIX price. Just because the movement around happened to be to the upside for a change the last couple sessions doesn't mean that we don't have volatility in the market. A lot of times we associate volatility with, oh, okay, well, market goes up, that means volatility is in. Market goes down, that means volatility is up. Well, you can have volatility. Volatility is movement around. It's not up or down. And sometimes I think we forget that and we just think, okay, market up, vol in, because that's generally kind of the way it unfolds. But if the market's moving up fast enough, then vol's not in. And we have, we've got movement around. Tilray, nice recovery yesterday, but kind of giving it back. Kind of wondering, the MJ stocks, are they going to be like opposite of everything else? It seemed like they performed really well in the down move of the last month or so. So are people going to say, okay, when the market's tanking, I'll put my money in MJs as a safety measure? That doesn't even sound right, does it? But I mean, that has worked over the last month or so, but it doesn't sound right to me. I think that valuations, reality has to set in for the MJs at some point, and reality is that yes, it's a great expanding business, but we don't know what the prices of these, we don't know what is going to happen to the price of the actual products as a commodity with it being legal. Prices could go down a lot. We don't know. With tobacco, what has happened? Well, prices may have gone down, but all the taxes and all that stuff they've managed to make cigarette prices go up and up and up, even though it's it's legal and government regulated and everything. So we don't know what will happen with the MJ industry. It's a real wild card. But I would I'm not. I would stay away from Aphria at this point. That it's just find another MJ stock to be your darling right now, because Aphria, too many questions out there. It's just scary. The other players, CGC. CGC ignited this whole rally. I don't know if you remember that. It's like 2 earnings ago. It gapped up and kind of was the second coming of the MJ rally. The first coming of the MJ rally was before last December. But if we look at CGC here, the second rally here, which was around end of August, that's what really kind of ignited sort of the second coming of the MJ. So this rallied in August, and then on its heels by like a month was Tilray with its huge explosion. Like a little bit less than a month later, on its heels was Tilray explosion, and then all of a sudden MJs were so hot. We had NBEV, we had, of course, ACB. The big 3 for me were Aphria, ACB, and CGC. Bye-bye Aphria, I'm done. So now we have CGC and ACB. A lot of people have taken a lot of heat in the MJs, and all these people that bought up above where we are now in CGC, for example, they've got to get back to where they bought it to break even. Okay, so it's not as easy for it to just cruise to the upside when it's already been there and people are are in the red, so to speak. So this is just basically this market growing pains, growing up, and it's a volatile spot. So if you're going to play it, no tears, I am doing an interview tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be released tomorrow, but I'm not entirely sure about that, so stay tuned on that. Listen, folks, last month was a great month for this channel. We had record Patreon additions, record AdSense, and help me keep it going. If you are somebody who's been watching this for a while and you haven't thrown your hat in the ring to just even donate a buck through Patreon, sign up. That would be awesome. I want to try to keep it going. I would love to be able to, get an engineer in here. I want to get a mobile rig so that I can go out and interview people and go to some of these VIX conferences and do all kind of fun stuff. So hook it up, man. Hook me up with $5. If you made some money trading, what's $5, right? It's an investment in your future. Check out patreon.com/David Lincoln. There's links in the description below. Thank you for watching today. Thank you for Gorilla Trades for supporting me. Also check out Gorilla Trades, links in the description. I'm not a good stock picker, apparently, with Aphria. That was illustrated today or yesterday, but Gorilla Trades is, so check them out. And once again, no tears with Aphria. I didn't take the video down because, and if you're the kind of person that says, well, I'm not going to watch this channel because this guy got long something and he was wrong, then you're not living in reality. I was going to say that we don't want you here. No, we want everybody here. Even if you hate me, stay here. But people are going to lose money, and but the lesson here is that with Aphria specifically also is that, okay, it went against me. I got out of it, and I'm done. I'm not going to hang around and see if it comes back and all that kind of stuff. It started to go against, bad situation. The situation changed. The stock fundamentally changed, in my opinion, because of all this bad news, and I'm out. Cut the loss. I got a loss. I locked in a loss. Too bad. Move on. Next thing. Better than sitting there, and that's played out in my favor today because it's down again big today. I got out at an average of, I don't know, 630 or something. Now it's trading 4 and change, 460, 470. So don't ride your losers forever, folks. Obviously, there are certain situations where you have some sort of spread on, and you try to like kind of, every situation is different. But in this case, when news comes out, it's really bad, and don't fall in love with a particular stock, please. As a market maker in the pit, we're stuck trading, 15 issues, and we have to trade them no matter what. We don't have to be long them. We have to trade them no matter what. If you're a retail person, you're not stuck with anything. So move on. Don't fall in love with your stocks. Any stocks you're trading, you should be saying to yourself, am I falling in love with this? Do I have, am I rooting for it all the time? Do I have some irrational feelings towards it? And I know some people, or a lot of people actually, retail people, what they do is they get long, they try to pick stocks. They Facebook, I love Facebook, it's coming back, it's, this and that and the other thing, and they fall in love with it, and they stick with it, and they just get long stocks. We are traders, we're not investors. We don't fall in love with stocks. It's just it's a tool to make money, and we move on. There's many of them, and we try to find ones that work for us, and if it doesn't work for us, we move on to the next one. So get that mentality out of your head that you're falling in love. You're like, oh, well, I'm on StockTwits, and I like the guys in the BZUN thread, so I'm just going to stay long Boson because I like the guys in the BZUN thread. Now, it sounds silly when I say it that way, but a lot of people do think that way. So get that out of your head. We're here to not make friends. If you want a friend, get a dog. All right. So that's the message for today. Thank you for watching. Thanks for staying with me, and I will conclude with more of the Leafy soundtrack. That music at the opening was from Leafy, a YouTuber who's kind of disappeared from the scene lately. But in tribute to Leafy, we close now. See you next time.